Uh-oh, you've been drafted. Screenshot to see where you'll be. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, here we go. Nuclear blast. You either managed to dodge the draft, but lived at or near a military, logistically or economically too important location, or you're put at a gathering at too many units that stood put for too long. Well, at least we went out in style. Congrats. Oh man, that's a bummer. I want to try it again. This time I was sent to the Sino-Indian Theater. I will be fed into the mountain meat grinder where the entire brigades will be swallowed up by unsending Eastern Frontier violence. Dang it. Looks like I've got no chance of survival. The Russians have invaded Missouri. No matter, ROTC units can take them. But that also means the Russians will find the cheese bunker. Not the cheese bunker! I just learned about this last week. The US government has a cheese stockpile of 1.4 billion pounds. We actually have them stashed all over the place, but one of the caves does happen to be in Missouri. I really don't care what happens at this state, but they'll have hell to pay if they touch our cheese cave. We have so much of this, I don't understand why we don't start using cheese as a currency. The year is 1788 in the 13 colonies. No, don't force me into a multi-front war, you dirty frog. Ha ha ha, get fricked, Anglo. Meanwhile, cut to the present day, 2023. Mate, look at what— Mate, are you okay? For some reason, it doesn't really seem like he's really okay right now. Title was, I think the French owe us all an apology for creating not one, but two of the most annoying countries in the world. Wait, what exactly are the two countries? Is it the US and Belgium? Love how Spain isn't getting any of the blame at all. The British-French rivalry. We're the most iconic rivals in history, yes. Meanwhile, the Dutch-Sea rivalry. At it again, fricker. Oh no, and they have the only thing here that's gonna stop the sea. That's sand. Pretty sure the Dutch were put on this earth just to hold back Neptune. Man, what would we do without them? In the Middle Ages, this renowned theologian held a lecture regarding the difficulty of pure logical decision-making. A Belgian man is placed right in the middle between Heineken and Carlsberg. Which drink does he insult first? Man, oh man, the choices, the choices. I think this is one of those impossible questions, at least for Belgium. If I had to make a choice here, I would assume Heineken just because it's Dutch though, right? The Belgians kind of have that rivalry here. The Romans speaking Latin. The Italians speaking Latin with funny hand gestures. The French speaking Latin with way more nasal. The Romanians with separatist Latin. The Portuguese speaking Spanish spoken by a drunk Frenchman. And finally there's just Spanish, which is 5 times faster Latin. Overall, it's all the same, just with some slight tweaks. Once you know one of the Romance languages, you pretty much know all. Like if you're French and want to speak Spanish, just stop using your nose and speak 5 times faster. It's really that simple. Countries that surrendered to Germany. And here we have everyone's attention. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, France is pretty much the only one in the spotlight. But man, there sure are a lot hiding in the shadows, aren't they? Try not to come out, I guess. I feel like a lot of people are just willfully keeping the spotlight right here. The Dutch carefully making sure there is not a single square centimeter of untouched nature in its territory. Yeah, they're quite literally going like atom by atom at this point. They're on an atomic level. I mean, has anyone ever seen the amount of bike paths they have everywhere? It's kind of ridiculous compared to the other countries. Italy's saying, ew, sweet fruit on non-sweet food, disgusting American poop. Meanwhile, at the very same time, oh! Is that ham on melon I see? And they thought they could get away with this. Not saying that justifies pineapples on pizza though. You're not getting out of your punishment just yet. Did you know that the Czech Republic is in fact Western Europe? Wait, you don't believe me? Fine, let me show you why. As you can see from this map, we have Western European economic growth pretty much in the negatives or almost zero. Meanwhile, a lot of other places really starting to explode. And also prices only Western Europeans can afford. This is the average price of mobile data per gigabyte. Alright, I'm convinced Czech Republic is officially Western Europe. And the answers were always right in front of us too. Nuclear war is bad. Sorry, can't hear your BS in the Finnish state-funded nuclear ball pit shelter. Been waiting for nuclear war to break out my entire life so I can play in this thing. Not only is there a ball pit, but also a jungle gym. Let's go. Sounds about right. Get in the ball pit, losers. Hurry up and drop this thing. I can't wait any longer. The island nation of Haiti, ever since gaining its independence. Yeah, it's kind of been rough out here for Haiti. They've just been sitting in this fire for quite some time. They're just really long overdue for some good luck. I'm Westerns, asks an old Brazil. Absolutely not, says the British. How about now, they ask again. No, you're retrograde. Hey, can I? Sorry, no, you're not a serious country. Wait, please stop ignoring us. Can we talk? Meanwhile, teenage Brazil. Get out of here. I'm joining BRICS instead. Kept pushing Brazil to the side side until we pushed them just a little too much. Once they joined BRICS, the West was like, uh-oh, we messed up. The Filipino Empire at their peak prior to getting rebranded after a Spanish king name circa 3500 BC. They were literally the island empire for a while there, but once again, Spain just had to come over here and mess everything up. Just another example of a rebrand that went horribly, horribly wrong. The months between March, April, and May in East Asia versus the months March, April, and May in Southeast Asia. Yeah, the more north you go, it's pretty nice. The more south you go, and it's literally hell. I actually have a friend that lives in Thailand. He specifically said, do not come during this time. I'm a little bit curious just how bad it can be, though. Dumb Americans don't know any geography. Can you even name the capital of Estonia, says the EU? If Estonia were in the US, it would be the 44th largest state. Kansas has over twice the population. No! That's definitely one way to answer this geography question. I mean, to be fair, it does get pretty cold here, but yeah, only 1.3 million in this country versus Kansas at, yeah, almost 3 million. Man, and that population just keeps on rising. As an American, I prefer our pancakes. Yeah, well, at least we have free healthcare, you idiot. Never ever insult European pancakes. That's how you send them into rage mode. I gotta admit, this doesn't look that great, to be honest. If your state doesn't have a Waffle House, then STFU. My birth state of Alabama is directly adjacent to the capital of Waffle Houses, but the current state I live in does not have any. What does that mean for me? Luckily, however, I have experienced the glories of Waffle Houses at like 3 a.m. It is definitely an experience, I'll tell you that much. Fahrenheit is superior to Celsius. Anyone who argues has never been to Texas. The second I got there, I said, frick, it's like 110 out here, and I was precisely correct. Fahrenheit accurately expresses the emotional component of temperature. Celsius also has a weak chin and kissable lips. Unacceptable. I do gotta admit, sometimes even I can nail the temperature by the exact degree. Something just feels oddly comfortable about saying, ooh, it's a nice 70 degrees in here. 21.11111 just doesn't have the same impact. I'm really hoping people can hear my irony. Europe sipping on this nice straw from India, and India is sipping off of some, well, you know, whatever works. This is really gross. India is on track to become Europe's largest supplier of refined fuels this month, while simultaneously buying record amount of Russian crude. Well, that's interesting. Being a king in any European kingdom, my lord, your majesty, your highness, versus being a king in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. We elected you, now shut up. More privileges? I'm sure more and more chaos was being said as well. If only the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth ruled with an iron fist, we could have had this bad boy running around. Furious Microsoft boss says confidence in UK severely shaken. Seems like this company thought that they were in another country, not the UK. Specifically in America, to be exact. Guess the UK doesn't exactly want Microsoft's Activision Blizzard deal. Yeah, they ain't gonna be too happy about this. Yes, a 2-hour stream of Is Britain Cringe. You know what? I think I know exactly who this was made by. Probably one or either all of the employees working at Microsoft. Maybe just Bill Gates himself. I'm thinking something like that. You only get to pick one. Unlimited supply of mug root beer, or England is gone. No more England. Pretty much the hardest choice for any English citizen out there, I think. I've seen this root beer my entire life, and I don't think I've ever tried it. Is it really worth it? This is the Herman's tortoise. Hermie moves at an average speed of 0.6 kilometers per hour. That's 0.37 miles per hour in burger language. As you can see, he really isn't in a great hurry. If Hermie here woke up at the Russian border at the day of the invasion and simply started walking west, taking his time and resting 16 hours per day, after 414 days, he would already be in Berlin. Seems like the Russian military could really learn a thing or two about this guy. They're not even at a quarter of the way Hermie got. Who knew a giant bear could be so slow? Sweden accidentally fires rocket into Norway. The rocket landed in a mountainous area where nobody lived, 15 kilometers inside of Norway. Norway says it takes any unauthorized activity on its side of the border very seriously. I know you haven't been able to get accepted into NATO, Sweden, but maybe you shouldn't go to war with NATO. It just really doesn't seem like the greatest course of action to respond with. Me running to warn an Italian soldier in Poland. He's gonna be fed US MRE pizza. He doesn't have to put it in his mouth. He just has to smell it for 2 seconds. Boom, the Italian will just instantly spontaneously combust, never be seen again. Italians would definitely have the worst of it, but I feel like a lot of people would want to spontaneously combust if they had to eat this. Pizza might be the only food in the world where you can like look at it for 3 seconds and know exactly if it's gonna taste good or not. Like anything that resembles school pizza is just gonna be horrendous. No guys, crime rates are rising. A hard-working submarine gets kidnapped by gang of Tugs. Oh, yes, tugs. Man, someone's gotta stop these guys. Crime does not pay. Australian culture doesn't exist. Wait a second. It does. Is every property just Vegemite? Vegemite boardwalk? Vegemite railroads? I don't know. It really is the most Australian thing ever, though. If the country of Italy and Spain had a kid, they'd basically form Argentina. If Ireland, Germany, and the UK had a kid, they would basically have MAGA. And then if the Dutch and French had a kid, they would pretty much have a German. It's exactly how all these nations were formed. This one is definitely really accurate, though. And then, like, throw in a couple of secret Germans, and you pretty much have Argentina. Didn't realize that the Dutch were actually the father to Germany, though I probably should have figured that out earlier. Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain going crazy for tomatoes. Meanwhile, Germany, the UK, Netherlands, and Sweden going crazy for potatoes. This really is a massive divide in the continent. There's tomato Europe, and then there's potato Europe. Fortunately, I have to admit, I am a potato guy myself, which I guess probably shouldn't be that surprising. I like tomatoes when they're like sugary and put in a liquid form, and I eat them with fries. Mexico screaming, my dialect of Spanish is the most beautiful. No, mine is, says Colombia. Meanwhile, we have Chileans speaking Spanish. Bro, what the freak is even that, says Argentina. You guys sound so unbelievably dumb, says obviously Spain. And then finally, there's the most giga chat of them all, Paraguay, who just doesn't speak Spanish. Paraguay is the most unfathomably based country in the entire American continent. Fight me. Paraguay is largely bilingual. I didn't even know that. Wait, how long were they planning on keeping this a secret? How did I just find out about this? I guess that's what happens when you lose almost 90% of your male population in a three-way war. They've had quite the story, haven't they? And big thanks to my patrons. I am the kidnapper, and I've moved Drew to a Patagonian Australia village. Is real. I'm not a Argentinian the grandpa. Slow depressing Portugal collapse. Colorblind. Carmel Saida. GoodOldRyah. Phresh. I've almost managed to escape the imposter. KirinoIsBestGirl. The great Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Why.did.the.real.Drew.pay.his.imposter $20.